Well, first of all, my point would be that we are facing massive challenges that relate to sustainability. So challenges around climate change, energy prices, energy security, food security, water shortage, material scarcity, all in the face of a global population which is growing very rapidly, a global population which is urbanizing, and a global population which is becoming more wealthy, which means changes in consumption patterns. So in other words, the world around us is changing very rapidly, and it is very important for companies to understand how those global impact issues are likely to impact their operations. So understanding is the first point. And that understanding needs to lead to integration. In other words, businesses need to integrate changes in the environment, but also changes in legislation, changes in law, changes in standards into their business operations. And that then takes me to my third point, which is to innovate. I believe that there are massive opportunities to respond to sustainability by creating new business models and new services. So in that sense, I think that, to my mind, sustainability is not only a threat, it is not only a risk which we need to take into account, but also very much an opportunity to create new products and services in the context of smarter business models. Well, I think that companies like Telefonica can make a massive contribution, both in terms of your own operations and in terms of the market that you operate in. And let me explain that. In terms of your own operations, I think there are still massive things that companies can do, for example, to reduce energy consumption, to ensure that data centers use considerably less energy. So in that sense, there are real saving options that you can make around issues like energy, but also around issues like waste. Secondly, also your business model is changing very rapidly. I remember not all that long ago that the only thing we had were fixed phones, and the expectation was that we would have to build landlines around the world to give people increasing telephone access. What we're seeing instead is increased mobile connectivity of people around the world. And that brings massive opportunities. It brings opportunities, for example, in an area which I think is very interesting, the area of electronic healthcare. To what extent can you use communication systems to provide people with access to healthcare without having to travel massive distances to see a doctor? So in other words, that's, for me, one simple example of how, by deploying new products and services, you can enhance the livelihoods, the well-being of people, while at the same time reducing the environmental footprint of those people, given the fact that because of your products and services, their environmental footprint is reduced. My sense is that Telefonica has been one of the leaders in this area, has been one of the leading companies in explaining how new forms of communication can help to reduce environmental footprint, plus provide people with access to services which they do not have at this moment in time. And what I would really like to see is an even stronger engagement on the part of Telefonica in emerging economies, because there we really have the opportunity to shape the economic and social landscape of the future. So I would really encourage you to continue to be at the cutting edge of that in emerging economies.